Hi there. It's Monday night. It's been a while since I've done one of these, trying to work out where to be properly. And I just wanted to jump on because it's a big month this month and there's some exciting stuff happening, and I've had a few questions about the points thing in particular, so I wanted to jump in and talk about that tonight. So if there's anyone out there, feel free to come and join me, say hi. It's been a long day here. Started down at Fingal, staying with my parents where they live down there, and my littlest one, while I was in the shower, decided, I don't even know how it happened, put his hand on the hot water heater and got this huge burn on his hand there. So I lavendered it all up and run it under cold water for 20 minutes or so, and we took him to the hospital because it was really quite nasty. So that was the morning this morning, and getting ready for a teaching contract that I've got this term. So my little thing on the side, going back to the classroom for a little bit this term, working 3 days a week, so it's going to be fun. But anyway, let's talk oils. So, somebody on here, I saw a heart. Okay, so this month there's some pretty cool specials. So doTERRA, on the first of each month, which ends up being probably really late on the first or early on the second, we find out what the specials are for each month, and it's a surprise to everybody. It's not like the leaders know ahead of time and it all comes out, but it is new for everybody at the same time, which is fun and exciting, but it keeps us on our toes as well because we don't know what's going to come up. But this month it was a good one, and I wanted to explain how it works because there are quite a few different options that are enticing. Hi Vonya. Quite a few different options that are enticing this month. So let me run through it because we've got what's happening in Australia and what's happening in the US. And one of the benefits that we've got being in the Australian market is we actually get access to all of the local products in Australia, but also the ones in the US, because there's some that we can't actually access yet, particularly some of our supplements and things like that. We order them through the US. So that means that we can actually get access to their specials of the month as well as ours. And this month, there are decisions to make. So I thought I would talk through it. So first of all, Australia. What we've got is the special of the month is a 10% off, and that is the Peace oil. So Peace is from the Emotional Aromatherapy line, and it is a 5 ml oil, and it's got lots of oils that are cool, calm, make you cool, calm and collected, and so it's a really nice one. It's actually quite interesting. It's I sort of think, there's Lavender Peace, or known as Serenity as well, and then there's Peace, and they're quite different. The Peace one is actually quite a woodsy or a grassy kind of aroma, I think, in comparison to the Lavender Peace, which is very sweet and floral and stuff. So it's an interesting one there, and that's 10% off this month. The other special they've got is Peppermint Touch, and that is, gosh, I've been using mine like crazy today. The middle child, on top of the burn, we had the middle child with a bit of a temperature today, so been rolling that up and down his spine, so they're over there somewhere. But the Peppermint Touch is a great one. It is super handy. I use it as is because I don't have to worry about diluting and everything, and I keep all of those oils together. Use it for temperatures, sore tummies, if we need to clear the airways, need to have a little, pep me up before exercise, for headaches on the temples, on the back of the neck. Use that one for even muscle soreness, so it's a really good one. So that one is free this month if, there's a condition for that one, if you are if you're part of the Loyalty Rewards program. So if you haven't heard of the Loyalty Rewards program yet, it's the monthly ordering program where you order something each month, and the more you order, the more rewards you get. And it's kind of like a Woolworths rewards system or something, but instead of getting, like 0.02% of your order, you get a minimum of 10% of your order in points. So I'll explain that a little bit more when I talk about points a bit later on. But if you put in an order this month that is 125 points, then you'll get that Peppermint Touch for free. Now, the third part of the specials through Australia this month is the one that I'm excited about. It's actually my favorite enrollment special because it's one where, everybody benefits. So if somebody enrolls this month and they order a minimum of 125 points, and again, I'll explain that in a minute, but basically if you've got one of the Essential Collection, which is the 5 ml bottles, the pack of 10 in the 5 ml bottles. If you got that kit plus a coconut oil this month, that would be just over 125 points, and you would qualify to be able to get 50 free points, which you can spend on whatever you like within the next year. Now, I think this is a really good way to do it, because instead of saying, you've got a free, particular oil this month, you get to choose exactly what you want, and 50 points can go a long way. Again, I will explain what those points mean. So that's a really good thing, to be able to get 50 free points. But it's not just you for enrolling, it's the person who enrolled you that gets them as well. So if somebody was talking to me and wanting to get started with oils, they would be able to get 50 free points. But me, for having my own LRP order and having it over 100 points, I would qualify to be able to get 50 points as well. And not only that, I'll get my product of the month if I do 125 point order, and there'll also be a small commission that I'll get on that as well. So it actually works out to be really fantastic, and people that have got, if you've got a friend that's looking to get started with oils, it might be an incentive for you to not have to jump straight into the business, but just by ordering what you're ordering anyway, being able to get somebody else started, and you both benefit with points. And I mean, coming into Christmas, hello, what a fantastic time to be able to get your points and be able to use them to buy Christmas presents. So that's my strategy this year. So that is what the specials are through Australia. Now, through the US, there are some specials as well, and I mentioned that we have access to both of them, and there is a bit of an extra incentive to want to order through the US this month, and that is because all of the convention, the new oils that they've released from convention, become available on October the 2nd. Now, October the 2nd talks about US time based in Utah, so it's not quite the 2nd yet, so they haven't quite come up and come available yet. But we're talking, well, actually, the how do I say it, Vanya? Copaiba oil, that there's been lots and lots of talk about for pain relief in particular, and being the equivalent or much better than some of the requests for oils with the CHCs and all that kind of stuff that I'm not super up with. But anyway, I'll post something about that a bit later. So that one has already come out, and Siberian Fir, but the ones that are getting released tomorrow are those really beautiful floral oils. So the Rose Touch, the Neroli Touch, and the Jasmine Touch. So if they're ones that you're keen on, then you might want to put in a US order this month, and that would mean that you would qualify. So if your order is over 125 points, which if you got those 3 oils, I'm pretty sure they would be. I can't remember the exact dollar and point value for them. Over 125 points, you're going to qualify for the product of the month over there, which is On Guard, a 5 ml On Guard, so not the big one, but still it's a fantastic one because it's going into fall and autumn over there, so they're wanting to boost that immunity. But if you're order is over 200 points, and usually if I'm ordering through the States, it is, because I don't order from the States every month, so I sort of stock up a little bit, particularly on the kids supplements, the probiotics and the multivitamins for the kids. So if your order is over 200 PV, you actually get 3 15 ml bottles for free. The Lavender Peace, which is what we call it in Australia, but in the States is called Serenity, Balance, and Citrus Bliss, 3 of my favorite oils, and you get them for free for any 200 point order. So it could be a one-time order, it could be an LRP order, or it could be an enrollment order. So now, the only thing is, if you are ordering through the States, you're enrolling through the States, you may not qualify for that 50, those free 50 points. But if you already have an LRP account, you order through the US, and then somebody wants to enroll with you, and they order through Australia, they can get their points. That sounds really confusing. It's not super confusing, but please, if you're in that situation, just talk to me and I'll walk you through it. Definitely happy to help with that. But how amazing! You can get all of the convention oils, the Copaiba, the floral oils, and even that blue tansy that's going to turn your skin blue but has some really great properties. The yoga oils, they all get released in a couple of hours, and you can get access to them plus get freebies at the same time. So it's a really fantastic deal, and lots of great options this month. I'm pretty excited. I'll tell you, my strategy for this month is exactly that I am going to order through the US this month. I'm going to do a 200 point order so that I will get those 3 free ones that I can either keep or give as gifts, because I use them a lot, especially in my lotion and in the diffuser. and I'm going to get some of those new oils so that I can test them. I'm particularly excited about the jasmine and neroli, just to tell you. But I wanted to show you now and talk about the whole point thing with doTERRA, because a few people have been asking me about it lately and it can be a bit confusing. I've just picked you up, so I'm going to turn you around to look at my screen in a second. So what does this thing with points mean with doTERRA? And I wanted to explain it because we often talk about points instead of dollar amounts. And one of the reasons that we do that is because doTERRA is an international company and the points tend to be more of a standardized thing than the dollar amount. Obviously currencies change between country to country, but the point value is a lot more consistent. So when we talk about points, we talk about it in a couple of different contexts. We talk about a 200 point order, and in that context we're talking about how many points you're spending for the dollars that you've spent. So that they'll talk about that as a PV order, how many PV it is, and PV can stand for your points value, your personal value, or your product value. So they're interchangeable depending on the context, but that's what that's talking about. And the other side of it, like what you'd be getting the 50 free points, they are reward points like doTERRA dollars. And that's another really fun, or it's one of the most fun ways to use doTERRA's LRP program, loyalty rewards program. So I'm going to turn you around so you can have a look at the screen. Let's see. All right, so this is my doTERRA office, my virtual office that I can log into to do my shopping each month. And this is what it looks like. So you've got different tabs up the top, and this is the shop tab. This is where it comes to. You can see, obviously, it's got this little scrolling menu here, and it tells you what the specials are for each month. So it tells us that 10% off is peace, tells us that we've got this 50 for 50 so that you can get 50 points and give 50 points for when people get started this month. But this is what I want to talk about over here. So what usually happens is that we are ordering, what happens, happens by default is that we order through Australia. But you can choose to order through the US, and I'll show you what happens when I do that. So I will press this, and you can see that it's now there. And what's actually happened is I've got a few more options up the top here and it'll come up with all of the US oils, and it'll come up with US prices as well. So when you're ordering through the US site, you are paying in, it says USAU, have a look at that. That's confusing because it's US dollars, but it's the Australian, it's not actually the same as what they pay in the States. We pay a little bit more, I think. So just so you know, but here we go, look at this. We've got Arbor Vitae, which is how I say it. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, but you can see that it is $26.50 US. What we pay for it, and it's a PV of 22, so the product value is 22. All right, so that's just to show you that you can, if you're looking to get the neroli, rose, all of those ones, you'll get them by going through the US products. Okay, I'm going to go back to this Australian one, and I just want to show you quickly explain the points thing a little bit more. So let's have a look at this here. I've got an LRP template here, and let's just go to it. I haven't done anything about it for this month, but it helped me to explain it a little bit. All right, so let's have a look. Here is what it looks like. Excuse all my details up the top there. You can see I've just put my temporary things that I'm thinking I want for this month, or things that I'm out of and I know that I need to get. And you can see that I've got a quantity here and the PV. So the point value is that the lemon essential oil is 12.5 points, but the price I'm paying is $13.50. Now I like this one because it's quite similar. You can see here with the cardamom is 28.5 points, but $40.50. So that's one that I like to use my points for because it's a big difference. So there's 12.5 points, and there's, hi Heather, and it's $13.50. Now if you see down here, my point value that I'm spending is 138.5 points. Now this is relevant if I'm saying that I want to have 125 PV. This is what it's talking about right here. It's over 125, so I know that I qualify for the product of the month. I know how much I'm paying for it in cash. And you can see here my reward points. Now when it's saying buy the 50-50, you would get 50 extra points here if you enroll this month, you get 50 points. So I've obviously been doing it for a while, and I get 30% of my order. So 30% of 138 is, somebody help me with that, about 40, no. 100 points is going to be 30 points that I would get. So it's about 40 points that I will get there. Plus I get 10 points for my shipping just to cover the $10, $9.95 cost of that. So I'm going to have 50 points or something. Am I getting that wrong? Anyway, you get the idea. About 50 points that I will get each month that will add up in this doTERRA dollars or reward points. So you can see here, if this is 28.5 points and I want to use my points there, I can do that and it's going to change this. So I've got a few less points. All right, I've got a few less points there, and you can see that this has gone down a little bit as well, but I've used up some of my points. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to show you that there's a difference between your points value, as in how much you're spending, and then how much you're getting, which is the reward points. And this is where your 50 free points would go, that you can use just as I did there. Use your points. So if you've got enough there, you can use whatever you want. And that's one of the things I love about this. So just so you know what I'm talking about, that is what I'm talking about. So I'll turn you back. Alright, so I've just talked a few things tonight about what the specials are, how to order them, and what this whole points thing actually means, because I know that it can be really quite confusing to start with. It's there's a lot of doTERRA-isms that once you're in, once you're been using it for a while, you don't realize that you start to talk that way, and it's good to be reminded and get back out of it. So thanks to the people that have been asking me questions about points this last month. Hope that clears it up a little bit for what that all means and how you get points and what the difference is between your the points that you spend and the reward points that you get for spending. Okay, any questions or anything that I can help you with this month? Anything that has come up or anything that might be relevant to be able to talk about that I haven't mentioned? It's always good to sort of just have this as a starting point, and then hopefully it generates a little bit of conversation. I always get some messages and things afterwards of people wanting to know what's happening. So yeah, oils this month. Let me tell you a couple of the ways that I have used oils lately. That might be just a good way to finish. So on Wednesday night, we did a workshop at HB at 33, and that is a hair and beauty salon in Currumbin that has just got the most gorgeous girls. They do such a great job there, and they had us down and we had a great little chat about oils, and then we made up some body scrubs. And I was stoked to be able to have Helena there, who's in this group, because she is a qualified beauty therapist, has taught at TAFE and really knows her stuff. And so we got to make up some sugar scrubs, and it's such a simple process. I think that we did 2 parts sugar, and we used just some organic organic raw sugar, and 1 part coconut oil. And I just used normal coconut oil that you'd buy at the shop, not the fractionated stuff that we use with making up roller bottles. So it was super simple, and then we just added whatever oils we wanted, and I just had a full spread of which oils we could choose from and what they would do. So you could use ones that would be really good for the skin, really nourishing, so like juniper berry, frankincense and lavender was a combo that some people made up. You could do something that would be nice and relaxing that you could do before bed, so it was like a lavender piece and frankincense, I think. The one that I chose to make actually had the Smart and Sassy in it, which is one that comes free with the Essential Collection, that smallest kit that you can buy. And it's one that I always say I'm going to use, but I just am not super consistent with it. There's too many things and I get started and never do. But this, I added it to this body scrub, and then I actually went and used it, which is almost as crazy, because I'm not a huge spa girl or self-care person. I don't, have baths very often, and I don't do facials, and, don't paint the nails or anything. But it was just one of those days. I needed some time out, needed some time away from the kids, and so I decided to use this scrub. So I just got in the shower and used it all over my legs and my thighs and my tummy, and my skin felt fantastic, because as Helena told us, even just having that sugar on your skin is, because it is, she mentioned what sort of particular acid it was, but it actually breaks down the dead skin cells. And I know coming out of winter and having the legs starting to get exposed to life and sun again is a bit scary, and mine were all dry and my heels were a little bit horrible. So using it all over my legs was such a nice way to use it. And then when I got out of the shower, feeling silky smooth and clean and everything, and had that nice little tingle that came from this oil that's a metabolic blend, which is great for breaking down the cellulite, and which is definitely becoming more prevalent in time, but so yeah, it was just a really nice feeling to be able to use it, and that tingly feeling that kept going afterwards. So yeah, if you're looking for something to do on the weekend or some gifts to make up, highly recommend making up these sugar scrubs. They're super easy. 2 parts sugar, 1 part coconut oil, and then like 10 drops of your favorite essential oil. So yeah, have a go at making that. But that was a fun way that I've used oils this week, as well as telling you about the burn and the temperatures and all of the kid things. So hope you guys have a great week. Please let me know if you have any questions about this, but I hope that it's helpful in letting you know about what's happening this month and what you can, what you can try to get out of your oils this month. All right, have a great night. Bye.